What's going on, guys? Your boy Mason. We're back with another video, and in today's video guys, I'm going to be discussing why this team right here has become one of the best teams for Nidhoggr, and the team that is able to clear floor 3, even though I have not cleared it yet. It will be done probably later this week. Check out the streams at 5 p.m. EST, every single weekday. Check out the streams, guys. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's kind of talk about it, and I'll explain the whole team, the purpose of each unit, and how many dupes you need, all of that. Because I know a lot of people be asking, like, amazing, can I attempt this with like my Elizabeth being like 3 to 6, or like my whatever, like my Diane's not that like dupe, whatever the case. I'm gonna be explaining it, and I'm gonna be talking about this team and going over if the team will be able to clear your floor 1, floor 2, and floor 3 if you have these certain investment in the characters. Alright, before we actually hop into the video, make sure to subscribe to your boy Amazing. We are on the road to 35,000 subscribers. If you guys have not hit the subscribe button already, definitely make sure to, man, turn on post notifications if you haven't already as well. And with that out of the way, let's talk about the team. So if we actually go over here, here is the equipment info for the team that I actually set up here, and in terms of the dupes and stuff as well. Well, you know what I'll do actually? I'll have them pulled up in the other menu, so it's easier to kind of, show you guys what the characters are looking like in terms of their gear and such, right? So I think I have it right here. Yep. Is this all their gear situated? I think it is. I don't think I changed any of their gears. Okay. So right here, I do have CC food on, so that's not actually accurate. Let me take that off. But yeah, I'm going to talk to you guys about what you also need as a requirement as well. If you have too little box CC and consolation, you're not going to be able to beat Nidhoggr floor 3. It's just, the plain and simple answer, you know what I mean? I'd say the minimum consolation you need to actually beat it would probably be at least clearing all of Sloth and getting into Gluttony. And you would probably need at the bare minimum 10 million box CC or higher, and which is very sad to say, because you need a lot of box CC to make this team work, man. And you need a lot of box CC, you need a lot of consolation. The game mode right now is just super whale heavy, which is the problem, but it is what it is. That's how they gotta make the content hard on the day 1 release. But yeah, this is the team comp, guys, and let's kind of talk about it, and we'll go over the role of each character and how many dupes you would need or how much investment you need. So shout out to my boy Caius Demon King. He is the GOAT in terms of clearing all these stuff like super early. So shout out to my boy Caius. I'll link his video in the description going over his floor 3 clear. I will eventually get mine out soon when I actually clear floor 3, but I haven't cleared it yet, so yeah, but I want to kind of discuss the team. So Elizabeth right here, she is the one character that a lot of people ask about. Why is this Elizabeth good on Nidhoggr, and what can she do to help your team? So the first things first is she's not this card. This card right here is very, very important because it is a AoE complete cleanse. It's just like how when I explained Elat, when you guys saw my Elat video on like the Nidhoggr team, that team is only able to clear floor 2 because it doesn't have everything that this team has. Elizabeth has removed debuffs on all allies, which was the same on the Elat, but Elizabeth also has increased defense related stats by 50%, and then she grants debuff immunity and the 80% defense related stats, which pretty much is an Elat ultimate as a card, right? It's not as much defense related, but it's still really good. So yeah, that's going to be Elizabeth's card right there. She also has this card which does do a little bit of healing. It's kind of like Jormungand's card, but it's AoE, so it's kind of useless on the Nidhoggr, but it actually does play into her passive and why she is useful. And this is another thing right here, which is her passive. So increases allies recovery rate by 10% every time the hero heals an ally's HP, limit of 10 times. So the reason why this is good is because if you guys don't know, recovery rate means your start of turn healing, your Tarmiel Link healing, any healing that you've taken off of like started turn is going to be given through recovery rate. And so Elizabeth is going to be giving you 100% extra recovery rate, and so because of that, your started turn healing is going to be insane in Nidhoggr. So your healing for your whole team is going to be consistently very, very strong. You're going to be healing probably like upwards of like 80k per turn, depending on if you have like Tarmiel Link on your Diane, you're going to heal a lot more obviously, but yeah, that's pretty much that. In terms of the dupe levels for your Elizabeth, I would say you definitely want to have a high dupe level. I'm thinking like 4 to 6 or higher would be a safe bet. because the higher the dupe level, the more attack heal you actually gain. It's not that you necessarily need a high dupe Liz. Like if you have like a really high attack, you can probably make up for it. But remember, like, you know, in terms of the gear set, which we're going to talk about, you're running HP defense no matter what, because you need the tanking, right? And the HP defense is just standard HP defense. So the higher the dupe, the better. I would say 4 to 6 or higher is probably the best case scenario. But I mean, you guys can try it with lower dupe and see how it goes. But I would say it is definitely something where you'd want to have higher dupes on the Elizabeth. Another thing to take into account is you want to have all their weapons as well. You know, having them maxed out is a little bit extra, but if you have them maxed out, it's nice. More of a heal. And then obviously I think her HP cosmetics you definitely want to have maxed out as well. Her outfits, you know, you could definitely have them maxed out as well. It doesn't necessarily matter. And then another must have is going to be her Holy Relic, which increases HP related stats of the whole team. Universal, can be run in the backline. Not that you would run her in the backline, but you can with this on other content. But yeah, so this is pretty much the rundown of the new legend Princess Elizabeth, and she is the New Year Elizabeth from 2020, if I'm not mistaken. 2019. For JP, she was the New Year's unit of going into 2020, right? And then on global we got her on 2020's New Year. So yeah. That's going to be the Elizabeth right there. Moving on to Trader Meliodas. Trader Meliodas is going to be a character you want to have on the team. The reason why Trader Meli is so good on Nidhoggr is because he actually has damage reduction in his passive, where every time you do double single target, you get an 8% damage reduction, stacking up to 40%, which is very, very good. Meliodas also has buff removal and stance removal on the ultimate, which if you guys have played Nidhoggr, you know how much stance removal you need, you know how much buff removal you need. There's a lot of things you need in the fight that Meliodas' ultimate actually combats, which is very, very good. Pierce cards is another thing that is super, super important in Nidhoggr. If you guys don't know, Pierce actually shreds the Nidhoggr gauge a lot more than a lot of other cards. I think Pierce is the only card in the game that can do 60% at rank 3 on the gauge of the boss, which is absolutely insane. Or 50%, I mean, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, having rank 3 Pierce cards is going to be very, very helpful too, and will come into play on floor 3 if you guys are attempting to clear. You guys will know how many Pierce cards you need to farm. But yeah, and then in terms of the single target here, Amplify is just obviously a standard really big damage card. You know, 30% damage per buff on self, which Meli obviously buffs himself for single targets, and then he's also getting the defense related ups from Elat, or not Elat, from Elizabeth. And then the next character we're going to talk about is also going to be buffing Trader Meli as well. In terms of cosmetics, I definitely would say all maxed out cosmetics for Trader Meli. Headpieces, weapons, and outfits is going to be a must for this, because you need to have them at max potential, right? Yeah, in terms of the gear set, this is a little bit special. So again, shout out to my boy Caius. He's the one who actually did the setup here in terms of the team comp and the gear you need. But you know, eventually guys, when we get an actual unit for this, you won't need these extra gear sets, definitely not. But for now, we're gonna actually need them. So right here on my bracelet, right, or my ring, I am running full crit chance rolls. And you want to run full crit chance rolls because Meli needs to crit to do damage. If he's not critting, he's not doing damage. It's simple as that, right? The other side is normal 15% attack, so that's standard. This is going to be 15% defense. This is actually going to be resistance, you know, as high resistance as you can get. And then you're right here, we have the 15% HP, 15% HP, and that's standard. So that's going to be the Trader Meliodas right there. Moving on, we do have Freyr, which is the next character we're going to be talking about. Freyr is a must on the team because, as you guys know, Freyr is a ignite blocker. He does give all stats towards the team as well. So he has the Blessing of Light effect, which is for himself, 15% all stats. Every 2 turns, he's going to be giving 5% all stats to the team for 5 turns whenever Blessing of Light is removed and refreshes Blessing of Light. So he's going to be giving 5% all stats to the entire team. It's going to keep cycling through. And that all stats, by the way, is a blue buff, so Trader Meli can benefit from that. And then another thing too with Freyr is that he does have cancel stance, which we talked about with Trader Meli, that having stance removal is very, very important. Especially, you know, just having this so that we can remove the stances on the boss. Another thing too is Cleave is just a really strong damaging card, obviously doing additional damage equal to 75% of the crit damage on Freyr himself. And then obviously his ultimate here as well, oh, I misclicked, his ultimate right here as well, death damage, meaning he does double damage on the ultimate, is going to be very, very strong. In terms of dupes, by the way, for Trader Meli, I forgot to mention, not necessarily high dupes are needed. I'm thinking like anything like 3 out of 6 or higher is probably okay, because you don't need like 6 out of 6 for Trader Meli to actually do damage cap on most of the phases. It's most of the time going to do well, but if you want him to do as much damage as possible on the final floor, you're going to need the higher dupes. It's just a given, right? But yeah, back to Freyr. In terms of his dupes, you're actually going to need 6/6. I would say lower dupes for him is going to be really rough, because when you're in the fight and you're not doing as much damage as you would think, it's not going to really be helping, man. You don't need 6/6 necessarily. 4 to 6 or higher, I would say, is a safe bet. But 6 out of 6 is going to be one of the musts, I'd say, for this team if you're going to be running it, because it's very whale heavy, guys. I have to specify this. It's a very whale heavy team. Not a lot of people are going to be able to run this team and succeed on a Nidhogg. And then in terms of outfits, you definitely want to have all of them maxed out. Because that's going to be, you know, a big stat increase as well. For Freyr to be able to have like such good stats, you're going to need to have all this stuff maxed out. And then we move on to Diane here. In terms of the gear, by the way, it was just like standard gear. Nothing changed. That's why I didn't really talk about it. But yeah, moving on to Diane. Let's talk about Diane. So in terms of Diane here, you want Diane on this fight to have less HP than your Freyr. So how are you going to make that work? And the reason why you actually want her to have less HP is so that she gets targeted from Nidhoggr herself, because if you guys don't know, the way the targeting works in Demonic Beast Battle is that the targeting is on the lowest character's HP. So no matter what, Nidhoggr, whenever he does single targets, will be targeting Diane, which is going to be very important for the first floor of the fight, and then also moving into like the second and the third. So Diane right here is really good because she gets damage accumulation, which means up to 500,000 damage taken, she's going to be dealing up to 50% damage dealt guaranteed, right? And then she's going to increase her damage dealt by 20% for the accumulated amount as well, and then decreases allies damage taken when assuming a stance, which is very, very good. 40% damage reduction on top of the fact that the full trader melee damage reduction. That's 80% damage reduction for the full team if you have a Diane stance up, which is really, really good. Moving on to her cards here, she has the pulverized card, which is very good, which means you got gauge reduction when you have 4 gauge or higher. Very, very strong a card right there. And then remember that the Elizabeth is cycling your ult, giving you gauge as well, so that you can push ult easier. And so Diane is able to actually take gauge fairly often in the fight, because you're going to be always around that like 3, 4, 5 gauge range, because you're getting your ult refreshed a lot of the time. And then Diane has the HP related stance taunt, which is very good. 3 turn on the rank 2, 2 turn on the rank 1. Very, very good. 3 turn on the rank 3 as well. So Diane is going to be very solid right there. In terms of the dupes you need on Diane, 6/6 is a must for Diane. I'm sorry to say this, guys, but you have to have the 6/6 for the most amount of damage heal. The reason why you need 6/6 on Diane, in my opinion, is because the higher the ultimate level on Diane, the more healing you get for your team. The higher the heal, the better, right? Because you going into like floor 3, if you want to finish floor 2 with like full health on your team, if you don't get lucky and you don't have a Liz heal card at the end and you need damage, you have to ult with Diane. And 30% of the damage dealt is for healing for the team. Is going to be really good when you have the stance up. You're going to be dealing so much damage with Diane on this ultimate. So this is going to be a very strong ultimate, alongside the fact that she's getting the damage accumulation, getting up to 50% damage dealt with the extra 20% for the accumulated amount. Like, it's just very, very important to have, right? So I think higher dupes on Diane is going to be very, very important. Moving on to the gear, this is going to be a very special gear set, guys. We have the middle pieces being resistance rolls. You do not have to UR them. I just did it because I want to have my Diane be as tanky as possible. So the middle pieces are going to be resistance rolls, and then on the bottom right piece, which is going to be the rune specifically, you want to actually run recovery rate, which we talked about why recovery rate is so good, because the start of turn healing. Diane is going to be healing more because she has the Tarmiel link. Elizabeth is going to be giving her 100% recovery rate as well, and so Diane is literally going to be healing back probably all the damage she's taking by the end of the fight when you have fully maxed out Elizabeth passive, right? The rest of the gear set is the same, right? So HP on this piece, attack on these pieces, these two are resistance, and then this is the recovery rate. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the gear set, guys. I mean, people do also run like triple defense if they feel like they don't tank as well, but I feel like attack defense will be better for your Diane to do enough damage, either for getting a better heal on her ultimate or just dealing enough damage when you're on floor 3. So that is pretty much the rundown of the team, guys. And then in terms of the card set, you are running the basic stat card set, because 10% basic stats is free. Just getting that for your team, that means you tank a lot better, you do a lot more damage and all of that, and that's going to be the setup. In terms of the character links here, you definitely want to be running a triple defense Tarmiel link, not HP defense, because you want to actually have the extra defense on Diane as much as possible, alongside that resistance, and you want to keep your HP lower than Freyr. Freyr here is running ultimate Escanor link. Basically pretty much on Freyr, you just run your highest CC link with attack defense. And Ultimate Escanor is the character that fits the bill for me, so I actually just run him. In terms of trader Meliodas here, we are running Sario link on attack defense for the link. Because that's going to be the way to go. So I do have my attack defense on him. So you definitely want to run that. And then in terms of King Link right here, you are going to be running HP defense. Because he's going to be helping out the Elizabeth there to get the combined ult and get the better heal. So that is the rundown, guys, of the team and the amount of dupes you need for the team, the amount of investment you need. Oh yeah, wait, I forgot about Diane's outfits, by the way. I would say all outfits, by the way. So yeah, that's another thing too. But yes, guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope this was helpful for anyone thinking to try floor 3, floor 2. You can definitely be floor 2 with this team. The Elat team, I would say, is safer. So I did do a video already on the Elat team for floor 2. Floor 1, floor 2, you know, that's going to be the team comp you want to run. But if you want to do attempt floor 3 at all, my requirements would say to have this team right here. And at a bare minimum, at least have Constellation 5 unlocked. And then also you want to have at least 10 million box EC. I think that is the bare minimum. You probably need around mine as well, honestly. You probably need around like my stats to even do it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Like, that's what I'd say is going to be the way to go in terms of actually clearing Nidhogg. That's going to be the team. And if you guys want to see me do my runs on floor 3 Nidhogg with this team, definitely make sure to check out the streams 5 p.m. EST every single day of the week. And then on the weekends, I do take it off. Unless this weekend, I somehow have not beaten it by then I'll have to, you know, then I'll have to do a stream on the weekend. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a good rest of your day.